Jordan, always great to see you. I know
Good to
we're
see you,
happy to
Sean.
see you. Yeah, I want to talk to you about this. There's a lot to break down. I'll start with this, with the case being led by former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, a decision that is still pending from what I understand. But we'll play this for you, and I'll let you elaborate here. This is how the judge responded to Giuliani's argument. Watch.
At bottom, they're asking this court to invalidate more than 6.8 million votes, which we just heard about from counsel, thereby disenfranchising every single voter in the Commonwealth. Can you tell me how this result can possibly be justified?
All right, so that's the judge there that you've heard there. He said he hasn't made up his mind. It seems he's not convinced. Where do you stand with the arguments there?
So I think that there were a number of arguments made. It was a motion to dismiss hearings. That was not a hearing on the merits. And this was kind of one of the first main cases. The other were on ballot watchers. So this involved kind of the widespread fraud issues that the Trump campaign believes occurred in Pennsylvania, the voting irregularities, and getting over that initial hurdle. We should find out very soon from that judge, because all of these cases are being fact-tracked, whether or not the Trump campaign has survived the motion to dismiss stage and can move on to the trial on the merits. But that is in Pennsylvania. In Georgia, there is going to be a lawsuit now filed on the voting machines because there was a different machine used to match the ballots, signatures for mail-in ballots than there was for actual ballots in person. And that same lawsuit was already filed yesterday in Nevada by the Trump campaign, where in Clark County, 160,000 votes were thrown out for one race for county commissioner, but they didn't throw out those 160,000 votes when it came to the presidential race. And they threw them out because of fraud in the county commissioner's race. So why should those votes be tallied up for the presidential race? The campaign also raised that. So these lawsuits are, as I said earlier in the week, they're starting to be filed in the states. That is key, to get them into court, to get past those initial stages of motion to dismiss, and to continue on this path. And of course, Sidney Powell and her team, they're looking at the issues with the Dominion voting machines. But there's a whole host of issues, equal protection issues out of Georgia, Nevada, potentially Michigan as well, with what happened in Wayne County and Detroit.
Sure. Bottom line, there are a lot of lawsuits, and they're jumping through the hoops that they have to, the process that they've got to go through. Like you just talked about, the motion to dismiss, the possibility of going through that in the next phase of the suit. Where is the strongest case for the president right now, and where does that one stand?
Well, I think you've got a strong case on late arriving ballots. There's a stay at the U.S. Supreme Court on that. That stay is still in place. We already have a stay in place from the U.S. Supreme Court, and they're kind of waiting to see what else makes it their way. I want to point people's attention to what we're seeing happening in Georgia as we speak. So overnight, yet another county in Georgia finds about 3,000 more votes. Donald Trump's vote goes up. Then a smaller county finds about a few hundred more votes. There's 159 counties in Georgia. They're supposed to be finishing what they're doing, which is a recount, and part of that recount is also to go through and look and kind of canvass to make sure all the ballots were put in electronically, correctly, like through these thumb drives. What else is happening? What if they try to certify this tonight or the next couple of days without checking the 156 other counties very thoroughly to make sure thumb drives aren't missing there as well? So I predict you could see active lawsuits on that as well. So again, you've got Nevada, you have Georgia, Michigan, and Pennsylvania right now, all with active challenges.
Okay. Do you see all four of those states, cases in those states, moving to the Supreme Court, all of them potentially, or no?
I don't know if all of them will move to the U.S. Supreme Court. Some may be handled by the state court issue, and I don't think this is it. I think, again, this is the big week to get court cases filed, and that is what we are seeing happening, and some are starting to move along the process. I'd say, again, when you get it past early next week, that makes it much tougher, much more of an uphill battle to get it through the court process. So we're doing everything we can, fighting for the integrity of the election and for every voter in America to make sure their legal votes are counted and not canceled out by an illegal vote or canceled out because the thumb drive wasn't put in the machine correctly. What is happening in Georgia is absurd. It is shocking. It's why I'm upset with what Wayne County and that Republican Board of Commissioners did when they saw the irregularities, they saw the fraud, but yet they agreed to certify so that the Democrat Secretary of State now can come in and do an audit.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot better to do that audit before they certified the election results in Detroit.
Jordan, let me ask you about this. In Georgia, Gabriel Sterling, he's the voting system implementation manager in Georgia. He says there is no issue with voter signatures. He was on this program yesterday. Here's what he said.
And I want to dispel one very big myth out there right now is that there's no signature verification going on. That's just flat out wrong. You have to check you have to verify it on the request. You have to verify it on the ballot. The state of Georgia our office brought in people from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to do additional training for the first time this year. So there is signature match.
Jordan, I'll ask you to respond to that.
Yeah, the problem that has occurred in Georgia is not that with the actual same-day ballots, the regular votes that came in and the matches that went with those signatures. The problem is that they used the Aegis machine for mail-in ballots and those signatures, and those machines, the rate was so low that it appears to be that the machines were malfunctioning, or like in Nevada, where they've admitted to turning down the matching number so low that basically no signatures would be rejected. So they've already admitted to doing it in Nevada, and in Georgia, they're trying to use an argument of, well, we did have this for same-day voters and in-person voters, but those people got treated differently. Their signatures got treated differently than people who mailed in their ballot. That alone is an equal protection claim constitutionally that I see happening in Georgia.
That's one you potentially could see go to the U.S. Supreme Court.
That is the kind of case, those equal protection cases that one kind of voter and their signature was treated differently, so their vote was treated differently than another kind of voter in the same state.
All right, real quick,
county.
Before you go, viewers watching you right now, there are hopeful folks out there. They're wondering when would be a timeline? When is your shot clock? When does it run out? Is it Friday at 5 p.m.? Is it over the weekend? What can they put on their calendar, Jordan?
No, I really think you don't want a full time. You don't want to say it's exactly then, because something can come up as we're doing these canvases that are happening across the country. But I think it's mid-December. I mean, by mid-December, you've got to have these along the way. You've got to have got your evidence together. You've got to have been in court. So again, mid-December. So it's not like the shot clock is running out completely at the end of this week. But what I wanted to point out earlier this week was this was really when people should expect to start seeing real legal actions in court by a Trump campaign and RNC attorneys. They're starting to see that now being filed, being argued, and that was key. That was key to start the process to get rolling, so that you've got about a month to work these through court and some of the new cases that I'm sure are going to be filed in the coming days and maybe early next week too.
You're a member of Trump's team. Are you still hopeful?
We're absolutely in this battle because we're still hopeful. And then every morning we wake up and see more ballots being found that favor President Trump makes us more hopeful. Our goal is two process. One, we believe this election may have been stolen and that there's too many irregularities, and we believe that President Trump did win. But two, and ultimately, we want every legal vote to be counted and illegal votes to be tossed out. And if at the end of the day, if that happens and President Trump does not win and Joe Biden still maintains his electoral college lead, we'd support that peaceful, transition of power, and the outcome of the election. We can all say was fair. It's impossible to say that right now when you wake up every morning and they find a new thumb drive in a state that really Joe Biden shouldn't have that big of a lead in.
Do you see a recount possible in Wisconsin?
It's possible. The campaign's got to make the decision. That's the campaign decision they make today, because it cost the campaign in the millions of dollars.
All right. No, we'll pay attention to that. Jordan Sekulow joining us live on the program. Jordan, great to see you. Best of luck to you. I hope to see you again soon. You got it.